Naito, thank you so much. Hey, that's girl she. Karibu sana. Leo, I'm drinking my own tea. I'm drinking my own tea today. Poa Katambi. How are you? I'm fine. Babi, hi. Mama.com. Mama.com. We're supposed to be talking. Oh, music is not allowed in the sub only live. Let me. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, and welcome. Mama, I am waiting for you. I texted you on WhatsApp. And actually I've been wondering why we haven't communicated yet. But just to let you know, I'm so ready. I am so ready. Like, literally, I am so ready for us to start whatever we are gonna be doing together. Yamadesu, you got lost. It's been a while since I read your energy. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you. You're one of my inner cores. Hi, beautiful. Hi, Grand Rising. Guys, can you just tell me where you're watching us from? We start as always. I just want to know the different spaces and the different dimensions and the different timelines that you're watching me from. Yamadesu, thank you. When I see you in the comment section, I know that my pillars are here. South Africa is in the house. Tanzania is in the house. Tanisha, you've gotten raised. You've decided to cut and raise. Nairobi is in the house. California is in the house. You know we are international here. Here we don't deal local only. New York is in the house. Canada is here. Rwanda is here. Indiana, US is here. Nairobi in Zanzibar is also here. We have Kenyans in the house and Kenyans outside the country also here. Nigeria is here. Qatar is here. Taiwan is here. Kampala is here. Netherlands is here. Tell me where you're watching us from, guys. Tell me where you're watching us from. Today I'm going to be shouting because the topic I want to talk about is deep as fuck. So reduce your volume and I want to remove it with all the energy it requires to be removed with. Amsterdam is here. Athi River is here. Kenya Kitengela is here. Tell me where you're watching us from, guys. Tell me where. In fact, my thing. I'm coming. Yo. Yes. Tell me where you're watching us from. Today's topic is very deep. So tell me where you're watching us from because we are talking about spiritual protection. And me today, I want to give you everything. What did our ancestors use to protect themselves? Where does spiritual protection originate from? How can you protect yourself? Those are the things that I'm going to be teaching here today. And guys, you know the dimension that we've entered. Practical and active spiritual protection needs to be put out now. You know the dimension that we've entered. Right now, spiritual people, you have to know the ways in which you protect yourself. I'm just going to start because already we are 210. We are already 210. Hello, Swili, loving the space in Machakos. Thank you so much. The Kenyans who are here, Eagles. So thank you very much for supporting me. As a Kenyan, I appreciate, and you know why. So I'm going to get deep into the topic. And the topics that we're going to be discussing today is what is spiritual protection, number one. And then we're going to go to ways our ancestors protected themselves, and then ways to individually protect yourself. Guys, listen properly. Thank you so much, Tanisha. Thank you. The people who are supporting me, thank you. Here we deal with the eagles and we cater for everyone. This is a worldwide platform. Do you know, even before I start, rejection is protection, guys. Rejection is protection, and I thank God that majority of Kenyans don't follow me. Because if they were, right now I would be, I don't know where. But thank goodness, rejection is protection, and I appreciate that the people who follow me here are international. We are in an international platform, and we don't just deal local. We deal South Africa, we deal Burkina Faso, we deal Kenya, we deal whatever. As we move on, as we continue, here we do not deal local only. So I thank Kenyans who follow me so much. You guys are special to me because you are a few. Kenya is number 3 in my following. The most people who follow me are from the United States, and then South Africa number 2, and then Kenya is number 3. So Kenyans who follow me, even though you are at number 3, Thank you so much. You guys are the eagles. You are true eagles who think for themselves, and I appreciate you. Now, I'm going to start. What is spiritual protection? Guys, listen. You've heard me talk about Moses before. You've heard me talk about Moses and telling you that Moses is representation of the brain. Yeah. You've heard me talk, and today I want to tell you the philosophy of why I say Moses is the representation of the brain, because there's a lot of people who can't comprehend why I keep saying Moses is the brain and the body is the Israelites. So I'm going to be telling you today what that means as per spiritual protection. And remember, Moses is the one that took Israelites out of Egypt. So where does the philosophy come from? That is where spiritual protection starts. So what is spiritual protection? Human spiritual protection is located at Libra and Aries, pointing to their ability to self-balance and practice self-authenticity. My followers, you guys are my subscriber. You know where we started. This topic is continuing. So when I say that spiritual protection is located, where is it located in the body? We have parts of the body where spiritual protection is located. Please, anybody who is in my comment section who is trying so much so that I don't speak, please. I don't want to stammer today. Oh, get thee behind me, Satan. Get thee behind me, Satan. I don't want to stammer. So, human spiritual protection is located at Libra and Aries, pointing to their ability to self-balance and practice self-authenticity. Now, it is the connection of Libra and Aries that forms library. So if you want to spiritually protect yourself, you must access the Akashic records, which are the spiritual libraries. And where is that located? In the body. Authenticity in your head and at Libra and library. Are we together up to there? Are the 2 points of balance. Libra balances you below, Aries balances you up. Now Libra, which is self-balance, is achieved by laws of math. Analysis, self-analysis located at the stomach. Guys, when I showed you the tree of the Maat, where the docket of Maat, the territory of Maat is, it is at Virgo. It is in the stomach. In fact, it is inbuilt in a woman. So the Libra self-confidence is achieved by the laws of Maat, which is in the self-analysis located at the stomach. Now, Aries, which is self-authenticity, is achieved by the laws of Moses. Who is Moses? Because our ancestors did not know who Moses was. So where is this philosophy of Moses coming from? And I'm going to show you how we arrived at Moses step by step. Now, Aries, which is self-authenticity, is achieved by the laws of Moses. Moses in ancient Africa was known as thought, located in the brains. Now, the marriage between the laws of Maat, Libra, and the laws of Aries, of Moses, which is thoughts, which is Aries, forms the libraries, which are the territory of Seshat, who is the African deity for the art of deity for the art of H-A-T. S-E-S-H-A-T. Somebody is telling me I'm lagging, I'm freezing. I don't know why. Because my network is lagging. Am I still freezing? 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 No, see sachet. S-E-S-H-A-T. 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 Let me start. Somebody is telling me to start. Human spiritual protection is located at Libra and Aries, pointing to their ability to be self-balanced and practice self-authenticity. Now, Libra, which is self-balance, is achieved by the laws of Maat, which is self-analysis located at the stomach. Aries, which is self-authenticity, is achieved by the laws of Moses, which is thoughts located in the brains. So as long as Ash and brain, you're good to go on this planet. As long as you are able to self-balance and be self-authentic, you are already spiritually protected on this particular planet. Are you listening to me, guys? Are you getting my point? Now, Aries, wait, the marriage between the laws of Ma'at. When I taught you about the tree of life, I told you where the laws Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Am I back with the local network? I'm going to start. And guys, please listen to me, because today this topic is very important. It's very important. Once you listen to this, you're going to get a lot of things. You're going to find out that it's so easy to work in spiritual protection. Now, human spiritual protection is located as Libra and Aries, pointing to the ability to self-balance and practice self-authenticity. Libra, which is self-balance, is achieved by laws of Ma'at, which is self-analysis, located at the stomach. Now, Aries, which is self-authenticity, is achieved by the laws of Moses, thoughts, located in the brains. Now, the marriage between the laws of Ma'at and the laws of thought, which is the laws of Moses, forms libraries, which are the territory of Seshat. Now, Seshat is the child of Ma'at and thought. And I'm going to tell you, just master the names. Master the name, I'm going to tell you where it's coming from. Somebody's telling me, am I still freezing? The marriage between the laws of Ma'at and the laws of thoughts form libraries, which are the territory of Seshat, who is the African deity for the art of writing. The African deity for the art of writing. Now remember, where does writing come from? Now Seshat, I already said Seshat, is the deity that stores the results from the marriage between Libra and Aries in form of writings, as her father thought, believed that writing is a wonderful substitute for memorizing. Yeah. The beginning might not be boring, but listen. Spiritual protection involves the marriage between laws of Ma'at and laws of thought. Laws of thought are what are known to Christians as laws of Moses. Now, what are the laws of Ma'at before we go to the laws of thought and who is thought? Now, Ma'at territory, as we learned from the tree of life, is at the uterus, with the left ovaries representing do no evil and birthing the lawmakers, while the right ovary representing take no evil and birthing the law enforcers. Women have the territory of Ma'at inbuilt in their Virgo. So woman, why do you menstruate every month? It is because each and every month you are subjected to energy so that you see whether it is do no evil or accepting no evil. Women who accept evil and do no evil but they accept evil, they end up having painful periods at the end of the month. They end up having things like amenorrhea, dysmenorrhea, endometriosis. They end up having things like fibroids because they are not balancing the energy they are receiving well. You know that as a woman, Ma'at territory is inbuilt within you. And I'll repeat that particular statement. So what are the laws of Ma'at? Ma'at territory, as we learned from the tree of life, is the uterus. is at the uterus, with the left ovaries representing do no evil. Woman, your left ovaries are always representing do no evil, do no evil, do no evil. And when you birth from your left ovary, when the egg that is fertilized comes from your left ovaries, then it means that you are birthing the lawmakers. You are birthing the lawmakers. And while the right ovary representing the take no evil. So remember, the laws of Ma'at move by do no evil and take no evil. And as it is weighed, as your heart is being weighed against a feather, you are supposed to be at a point where you do no evil and you take no evil with the same speed. You are not somebody who you do evil more than you take evil, or you take evil more than you do evil. You are supposed to be, the scale is supposed to be at equilibrium. Now, women have the territory of Ma'at inbuilt in their Virgo. Now, what are the laws of Thoth? I am talking about Thoth because this is where protection is. Now, people who are, investigators, don't just take my words for it. Go investigate by yourself. And that's why I am giving you even the spellings. Now, what are the laws of Thoth? Thoth. Somebody write in the comment section. Thoth. Thoth. This is a deity that as an African you must have at your fingertips. Because this is the deity that Christians have at their fingertip as Moses. Now, Thoth, from the word thought. Thoth is the god of successful imagination. From the tree of life, I told you, it starts from how does energy flow? Imagination comes. That imagination is weighed in your left arm, which is wisdom, your right hand, which is understanding, and then you get to the higher version of yourself at Da'at. And then from Da'at, that imagination is weighed at Ma'at to see whether it is, law enforcers or lawmakers. And then it goes down to Tiferet to make your aura. That is the same energy that I'm talking about. So, what are the laws of Thoth or laws of Moses? Thoth is the god of successful imagination from the tree of life. Remember, not all imaginations become successful and be brought into the physical dimension. Some imagination do not become successful. So Thoth was the moon god from African mythology that had the ability to provide light, chai. Thoth had the ability to provide chai, which is light at night when you are alone. Thoth is the one that gives you tea when you are alone, meaning Thoth is the one that provides light at night. I hope this is making sense to people. Thoth is the one that provides light at night, meaning it gives you chai when you are alone, thus allowing time to be measured without the presence of the sun, thus allowing you to see into space without the presence of memory. It is Thoth that a lot of psychic mediums are connected to. It is Thoth. Now, who is Thoth properly? I know, but you've not gotten who Thoth is. Now, as history passed, now listen, where were we? I've told you that Thoth was the moon god from the African mythology that had the ability to provide light at night. She had the ability to provide chai when you are alone. Remember, chai is only passed when people are many. When people are many, like, oh, let me tell you, so and so said. Let me tell you, this is what is happening in Germany. Let me tell you, this is what is going on in Nairobi. Let me tell you. So when that is not there, when you are alone, you don't have somebody to tell you. So who is going to be with you at that particular point? Thoth. And I hope you are already seeing who Thoth is and where it comes from. Now, Thoth was the moon god from African mythology that had the ability to provide light or chai at night when you're alone, thus allowing space or time to be measured without the presence of memory or the sun. As history passed, the name Thoth was later translated into thought by the Sahidic Coptics. So the one that we use today, thought create reality, thought whatever, it comes from the deity Thoth, the African deity Thoth. And listen carefully, the Greeks later replaced the African Thoth with their own Hermes. If you read Greek mythology, you must have come across Plato, Socrates, Hermes, Hesiod. Now, the Greeks later replaced the African Thoth with their own Hermes, and they called him Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes Trismegistus as active transfer of Thoth wealth from Africa to Europe. Now later in history again, many authors from the late antiquity to the Renaissance era identified the Greeks' Hermes with Moses and the African thought. So one of the writers was the Atapanus of Alexandria. Okay? These are the people that recognize that, oh, so thought is the same as Moses and is the same as Hermes from the great Greeks. Now, the Greeks stole the identity of thought, used it to create their own Hermes Trismegistus, that later the Roman Vatican Catholic Church faith presented as Moses. Now, who was this ancient African thought before he was turned into Hermes and before he was turned into Moses? Thought was thought. Just from the word thought. It's the same. Now, thought was thought, the master of successful imagination. Now remember, not all thoughts are good, but remember the thoughts that you give most of your energy to. I'm always teaching this to my followers. The thoughts that you give your energy to are the ones that manifest. Where your energy goes, grows. What your attention dwells on, swells on. And what is that your attention is dwelling on, to swell on? That is thoughts. That is where the deity is. Africans personalized their deities. Africans treated their deities as human beings. They personalized even their spirits. So thought was just thought, but it was personalized because it was a part of the human trait. Now, thought was the master of physical and moral, hence making proper use of the wife Maat. Thought was the wife of Maat. Who is Maat? Maat is the do no evil and take no evil. And then who is thought? The imagination that comes to you raw. By the time it is marrying Maat, then you are achieving successful imagination if you are successful. Now, in ancient African mythology, the story of creation is documented as, remember the story of creation of white people and the Christians. It starts from Adam and Eve, I don't know, doing what. That is not the story of creation of Africans. Africans, you must know your story of creation that comes from Isis, Horus, Osiris, Set, and Nephthys. That is the story of creation of Africans. So I'm going to read it to you here. In ancient African mythology, the story of creation is documented as Thoth entering a gambling union with Maat. Hey! In the beginning, there was thought. In any beginning, there is thought. And the thought was with God. And the thought was God. Do you know that verse? That verse in Christian, they say, in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. It is thought. In the beginning was thought. Before thought entered a gambling union with Maat. Now, this is how we came about. Listen to how we came about. In ancient African mythology, the story of creation is documented as Thoth entering a gambling union with Maat. Imagination entering a gambling union with intuition. At a time when Nut was sterile, unable to reproduce due to 300 year instead of 365 days a year. It was the gambling union between Thoth and Maat that gave an extra 5 days that Nut and Geb used to birth Osiris, Set, Isis, and Nephthys. It was from that the text, in any beginning there is thought. The thought is with God and the thought is God. Before you create anything, guys, know that you are God experiencing himself in human form. Before you create anything, in the beginning of any creation, there is thought. In the beginning of any child, there is thought. Before you get to a place where you are buying a car, there is thought. Before you get to a place where you are building a house, there is thought. Before you get to a point where a woman is birthing a child, there is thought. So before any creation commences, there is thought. But the white people, in order to confuse Africans, they changed it into word. So they say in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, which is true. But as an African, you will comprehend it better when we say in the beginning was thought. And thought was with God, and thought was God. Are we together, my people? Are we together, my people? So later on, after Nut and Geb used the 5 days brought to them by the union between Maat and Thoth, later on Osiris was killed by Set. And it is thought that gave Isis the words to restore her husband by allowing female human to produce Horus, the male human. Are you seeing? Are you seeing that particular progress? Please throw Mary out of the window. Mary is not a thing. It is a thing for Europe. Europeans, yes, Mary is a thing for them. But for Africans, Mary is not a thing. For Africans, Jesus is not a thing. For Africans, Moses is not a thing. For Africans, Abraham is not a thing. So you must know your own deities so that you leave Europeans to worship their own deities. Those are their own deities. They work for them. They work for them. But the moment they bring us to also come into communication with their own deities, we struggle. A lot of Africans struggle to even speak English. What makes you think that you will even speak to Mary? It is as simple as that. A lot of Africans struggle to even speak English. You cannot even speak English properly. And you think you can speak to Mary? You think you can speak to Mary? Get out of Mary, please. Join ISIS. Now, later on, let me even start this thing. In ancient African mythology, because I want you to understand, to comprehend the African creation story. In ancient African mythology, the story of creation is documented as Thoth entering a gambling union with Maat. You always have Thoth entering a gambling union with your Maat. You always have your memory entering a gambling, a gambling union with your intuition. Women, you do this all the time. Because that is why you are gods, you are creators. You always have thoughts that are gambling. Okay, which intuition are you going to empower? Which intuition? That gamble is what creates. Now, in ancient African mythology, the story of creation is documented as Thoth entering a gambling union with Maat, imagination entering a gambling union with the intuition, at a time when Nut was sterile, unable to reproduce due to 360 days a year instead of 365 days. We will get deep into this. We will, as we go, I will even show you why it was 365 days and not 360 days and not 365 before it was divided into 72. They took 360 divided by 72, you get 5. So that is how it was the gambling union between Thoth and Maat that gave an extra 5 days that Nut and Geb used to birth Osiris, Set, Isis, and Nephthys. Guys, haven't you ever had an intuition? Like, haven't you ever reached a point where your memory is sterile? It is not producing anything anymore. Your life is going on a circle. You are sterile. You cannot no longer produce. And then intuition comes and you get the fuck out of that sterility. Haven't you ever experienced? These are things we experience even as we live on a daily basis. Osiris. Osiris. You must know, because these things are on our fingertips like this. These things are on our fingertips. When they start calling Thoth Moses, now you don't know. They make you lose your way. When they start calling Thoth Hermes, Africans are lost. Now Africans don't know what is being talked about. And yet when you go back to the very beginnings of it, you realize that Moses is just the brain. Hermes was just a representation of Greek brains that they developed after feeding and sucking African knowledge. So they took the Thoth from Africa and they turned it into Hermes. And then they passed that Hermes to the Romans, and Romans turned it into Moses. Know how these deities were created so that you know who you are worshipping. Now, in ancient African mythology, the story of creation is documented as Thoth entering a gambling union with Maat at the time when Nut was sterile, unable to reproduce due to 65 days a year instead of 365. 360 days a year instead of 365. Remember, 360 forms a complete circle. 360 forms a complete circle. When you move to 365, now the circle is capable of forming now a spiral. A spiral, because the other coming circle will be bigger. It will now form a spiral in the form of golden ratio. And that particular mathematic that Pythagoras was so well conversant in, so much that he named himself after it. It comes from Thoth. And please, I'm going to still tell you the identity of Thoth. If you don't know Thoth properly up to this point, you're going to know Thoth by the time I'm done with this particular class. Now, it was the gambling union between Thoth and Maat that gave an extra 5 days that Nut and Geb used to birth Osiris, Set, Isis, and Nephthys. It was from this story that the text in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. It's so supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be in any beginning there is a thought, and the thought is with God, and the thought is God. Meaning, in any beginning, before you create anything, there is a thought, and that thought is with you, and that thought is you. All right? Now, later on, Osiris is killed by Set, and it is Thoth. Remember, it is Thoth. Thoth is the one that gave Isis the words to use to restore her husband by allowing Isis to turn into, like, literally, Horus, the male deity, was created by Isis, birthing a man from her own essence. It was Isis that turned inside out. Remember, men are an inverted version of women. Men are just a vagina that fell out. So how was this possible? It was possible by Thoth giving Isis the words to restore her husband by allowing female humans to reproduce Horus, which is the male human. If you don't get it now, you will get it, because I will repeat it over and over again. Now, Thoth is thought, and it is thoughts that create reality. Remember, thoughts is thoughts. It is literally thoughts. Africans, they personified their deities. Now, Thoth in ancient Africa is credited with being responsible for coming up with the calculations that established heavens, stars, earth, and everything in it. It was thought. This world was created through thought. And that's why I'm always telling you, we don't choose our thoughts. We don't choose our thoughts. The thoughts come to you according to the level of vibration you're on. We don't choose our thoughts. The thoughts chooses you. So whenever the thought chooses you, remember the deity thoughts. Every time thoughts come into your mind, remember the deity thoughts. Now, Thoth is the one that authored works of science, religion, philosophy, and supernatural. In Africa, we did not have something like saying that, oh, now Louis Presta is the one who is going to be an inventor of telescope. There was nothing like that in ancient Africa. Ancient Africans knew that the deities, it is spirits, it is certain thoughts that give birth to certain things. And so at the end of the day, they would not give credit to one person. They would give credit to the collective energy that created that particular thing. So Africans took their time to even learn that, okay, we've created the pyramid. But it is not one person that created the pyramid. It was a particular thought in the collective, because we are interconnected, that was responsible for creating this particular thing. And so they trace that particular spirit and give it a name. And that is where Thoth, the likes of Thoth, came from. Now, Thoth is the Moses that gets Israelites out of Egypt. We said that Egypt is your parents' house. When a child is born up to the age of 12, they are in Egypt. Egypt are the places you get enslaved. And the first enslavement that you get is in your own home, by your own parents and your own relatives and your own communities. By the time you reach 13, now Moses is mature. Moses starts to question. When you're born, Moses is young. By the time a child is reaching 13 years old, Moses now starts to question. That is thought. Starts to question. Okay, I was born into a family of thieves. Do I want to become a thief? Okay, I was born into a family of Christians. Do I want to become a Christian? At the end of the 13 is when children start to question these things. And who gives them the ability to question? Thoth. Thoth is the one that gets Israelites out of Egypt. Thoth is the one that gets teenagers out of the thought processes that are contaminated by their parents. So know who Thoth is. Thoth is the Moses that gets Israelites out of Egypt. Now, Thoth of ancient Africa is the same as Hermes of Greek, and is the same as Moses of Romans. So Africans, I don't want to hear you about Moses. Moses is not your own, no. Know your own. In this world, it's a game. Everybody has their own. If you're praying to a white man and you don't even know English, you are making fun of yourself in the spirit realm. Know your own deities, and if you don't know them, pray to yourself, because these deities, they are still in yourself through the virtue of junk DNA. They never leave. They never leave. And I'm going to teach you how to protect yourself using them later in this class. Now, Thoth of ancient Africa is the same as Hermes of Greek and the same as Moses of the Romans. Because different parts of the planet represents different parts of the body. Now, the eagles who travel, people who travel a lot. Listen to this. I want to give you an assignment, something fun to go look into. Something fun to go look into. From today, when you're reading about Thoth anywhere, just replace it with thoughts. Successful thoughts that have made changes in this world. Those are, they get stored at the deity of Thoth. Now, because different parts of the planet represent different parts of the body, in your body, Thoth is in your brains. While in ancient African math, the temple of Thoth was located in the city of Hermopolis. Where was this city? In Kemet, Egypt. Egypt was made by the South Sudanese people. Look at the map, you're going to see that Egypt and Sudan were the same thing. They are the same place. It's just the white man that came and divided it in 1884 by creating their own maps. But Egypt is Sudan. Look at the map and you will see that Egypt is Sudan. Now, because different parts of the planet represent different parts of the body, in your body, Thoth is your brains. While in ancient African map, the temple of Thoth was located in the city of Hermopolis. People who travel, go check it out. Now, which Arabs later renamed? The Arabs in Egypt later renamed it to El Ashmunain. El Ashmunain. There's a place in Egypt called El Ashmunain. That is the temple of Thoth. When you go there, you will see a lot of things with regard to African thought processes. Now, the temple of Thoth was later completely destroyed. The temple of Thoth was later completely destroyed by Europe in a bid to pave way for the commencement of the Christian faith. When they were starting the Christian faith to brainwash everybody, they made sure they killed all African facilities. They made sure they ransacked all libraries. They made sure all books were burnt, and the ones that couldn't be burnt were buried in the ocean. They put the books into the ship, drove to places that are very deep, that are the deepest in the sea, and poured the books there. Videos are all over. If you're somebody who you walk a lot, I'm an Aquarius. Aquarius, this means that I walk a lot. I use my Achilles heel a lot. If you walk a lot, you will see these videos everywhere on the internet. Now, materials from the ruins. Imagine they ruined the temple of Thoth, and then the materials, listen to witchcraft. Listen to witchcraft. After ruining the temple of Thoth that was previously in Hermopolis, which is El Ashmunain, the materials from the ruins of the house of Thoth were left standing until 1826. Now, during 1826, remember African maps were introduced, African boundaries were introduced in 1884. Now, in 1826, when they were demolished, they demolished them. Now, listen, materials from the ruins of the house of Thoth were left standing until 1886, when they were demolished and used to build a foundation for European sugar factory by the mid-19th century, when consuming sugar was made illegal for Africans and slaves. Remember, Africans and slaves were initially not allowed to consume sugar. Ask Americans. And by the way, these guys, my followers from Africa, if you are my follower from Africa and you want to know the true behavior of white people, listen to the African Americans. Listen to the African Americans and take their word for it. Don't even question. Those people have lived with white people for 400 years plus. If you want to know the behavior of white people as a black person, listen to the African Americans. Listen to the African Americans as an African. You don't know those people. Those people can come into our country here and camouflage and act like they are good people. But the people who are living with them, their neighbors, are the African Americans and the African Caribbean. The Afro-Caribbean, those are the people that know white people. So if you want anybody to give you a true and honest opinion about white people, listen to the African Americans. They will tell you the truth. They've lived with them. Because I see a lot of Africans, you argue with African Americans a lot when they tell you, this is the white man. They know the white man. They know the albedo. Their ancestors dealt with them since day one. So please listen, not South Africa. South Africa, you lived in an apartheid. Guys, I went to Kenyan high schools. The books that we were reading about South Africa, the books that we were reading about South Africans, you don't know white people. White people built walls up to 10 feet high to keep you outside. You don't know who white people are, South Africans. Don't even talk. Don't even talk. Because a lot of you are the ones who are now the white man is holding your neck like this. South Africans, the white man is holding your neck and blindfolding your face. You don't know the white man at all. Because they are the ones who came into your country and established themselves there by ensuring they had fences that were up there. You don't know them. You don't know them. You don't know them. Even if they've lived in your country for I don't know how long, you don't know them. And that is why you still tolerate. Still tolerate because you don't know. You still tolerate because you don't know. The albedos that are living in South Africa have established a coven. It is a toxic witchcraft coven that has been established in Cape Town, and no South African is allowed to even peep spiritually into what is going on there. South Africans cannot even access their own natural resources. You don't know the white man, my friend. So just listen to the African Americans. Those are the ones who know the white man for what he truly is. You people, you don't. Now, materials from the ruins. I want you to listen to this witchcraft. Materials from the ruins of the House of Thoth. Remember, House of Thoth was a house that was holding African thoughts. And that is why I usually tell you West Africans are like back of the brain of Africa. They were in very close proximity with ancient Kemet. So even they had so much access to the House of Thoth. Now, after they demolished the House of Thoth in 1826, they used the materials to build a foundation for European sugar factory. Do you know what sugar represents spiritually? Sugar represents love. Sugar is love. Sugar that even the honey produces, the bees produce. It is representation of love. And it was during this time, they established a sugar factory for Europeans, and only Europeans throughout the world were allowed to consume sugar. No African, no slave was allowed to consume sugar. This is history that even the African Americans, they know. And that is why a lot of Africans, we have good teeth. We were not allowed to, there was a time that sugar was not allowed to be sold to black people. Some of you grew up stealing sugar, trying to steal love, trying to spiritually steal love, trying to spiritually steal love. Sugar is love. Too much love that has no foundation causes cancer. If you're somebody who you're just loved, in your rogueness, you're loved. In you committing, atrocities, you're loved. That is a toxic kind of love. If you're given the fake kind of love, it causes cancer. So there was a time that Africans were not allowed to consume sugar for the main reason because that sugar was created out of thoughts of the African ancestors that were now it was like they were using the thoughts of our ancestors to give love to themselves by twisting it. You people don't know what happened here. You people don't know what happened here. If you know what happened here, if you know even how wealth was transferred, like for example, now they removed the wealth from Thoth and they gave it to Hermes. If you look at the bull, the silicon bull, I don't know whether it's called the silicon bull or the silica bull, where they used to put Africans inside a cow that is artificial, made of metal. And then they would subject this cow to fire. This cow that is made of metal, they would put an African there. And cow represents wealth. And then they would make sure that they put wood and burn them alive. And while they were crying, the sounds were channeled in a way that it would feel like the cow is crying. And then they would make love to such sounds. And the people that were born from such love making, are still alive up to today. Some of you are like, what? You don't know what happened here. You have no idea what happened here to our ancestors. This transfer of wealth, the way they were transferring wealth, the way they were transferring African deities, know that there is no European deity that is original. Mary is Isis. Jesus is Horus. Moses is Thoth. Always know. Copy, paste. And that is why they wanted to exclude Egypt from Africa, saying that Egypt does not belong to Africa. You know why? Because they wanted Africans to be like, oh, you guys, there's nothing good that you have. That is what they told our ancestors. There's nothing good that you have. And you know what Kemet was? Do you know what Egypt was? Go look at the map and remove the boundaries. Remove the borders in the map, and then you will see that Egypt is just South Sudan. And when you go to South Sudan, you find over 200 pyramids. The Egyptians who are agreeing are the demonic gatekeepers. Demonic gatekeepers, they are there and they know that their ancestors don't belong there. And that is why they have all that wealth in Egypt, but still poor as fuck. Why? Because they cannot even read the languages that were left there. Our ancestors left the writings on the walls there. Egyptians are living there and they don't know what it is saying. Egyptians who are living in Egypt right now don't even know what the pyramid means. Gatekeepers that are demonic. They are busy claiming these were our ancestors, these were our ancestors, these were our ancestors. But they cannot read the language of the Egyptian mummies. Who are you? It is not in your DNA. And I'm going to move forward. Now you know what Thoth is. Guys, if I was to bring an exam and ask you, who is Thoth? Would you tell me? If I was to bring an exam and ask you, who is Isis? Would you tell me? If I was to bring an exam and ask you, who is Horus? Who is Osiris? Who is Set? Who is Nephthys? Would you tell me? Guys, would you tell me? Yeah, that's why they allowed white people to dig our ancestors out. Because guess what? When they're digging their ancestors out, they're looking for the genetic information to see how their descendants were spread out. If truly Egyptians belong there, would they allow such kind of a thing to happen? No, they did. They were allowing it to happen. Why? Because they have no business. They know that they have no business protecting whatever they don't even know what that is. But I'm going to continue and tell you. Now, ways our ancestors protected themselves. This is another hot topic. Yes, they did. This is another hot topic. Now listen. Ways our ancestors protected themselves. Heka. I want you to step into the awareness of the word Heka. Today, what ancestral words are we learning? We are learning Thoth. We are learning Seshat. Seshat is just library. Seshat is a spiritual name for library. Seshat is an African name for library. And then the another word that we are learning today is Heka. Heka. And believe me not, once I've still taught you this, you will start meeting it everywhere. You will start meeting these words everywhere. And when you meet them, I hope you recognize them. You don't just pass them as if you don't know. Now, Heka in ancient Africa was a divine spirit within a person's soul that was believed to live on even after the body died. Yeah, today I even want to speak to you in my vernacular properly so that you get what I am saying. A lot of people, you think that the things our ancestors left behind were useless. But Heka will tell you nope. Heka will tell you that in ancient Africa it was believed that a divine spirit within a person's soul that they were born with lived on even after that body died. So sometimes you ask yourself, why were they, why were they removing our ancestors? Why were they unearthing our ancestors? Why were they unburying our ancestors? Now listen, Heka was known to be personification of magic itself. Now every creation born into the planet comes with their own Heka. Heka is medicine. It is the god of medicine and magic. Now, every creation born into the planet comes with their own Heka, depending on the tribe they belong to among the 12 tribes of Israel. Hence, Heka was known as the power of powers each person is born with. For example, you're born in January. Somewhere in January, you come with the Heka of Capricorn. The power to use yourself, and that gives you power over all powers that exist, over all the 12 houses. When you are born in February, you come with the Heka of self-knowledge. March, you come with the Heka of authenticity. April, you come with the Heka of self-support. May, you come with the Heka of self-thinking. June, you come with the Heka of self-feeling. July, you come with the Heka of self-love. August, you come with the Heka of self-analysis. September, you come with the Heka of self-balance. October, you come with the Heka of self-desire. November, you come with the Heka of self-vision. December, you come with the Heka of self-usage. So that January, self-knowledge. February, self-belief. It goes like that. So whichever month you are born, it shows which tribe you belong to. Because remember, the day is the same as the year and is the same as the body. So the 12 parts of the body, those are the 12 tribes of the Israel. And they are found in the 12 hours of the day, and they're also found in the 12 months of the year. So whenever you are born, tells the Heka that you come with. Now, every creation born into the planet comes with their own Heka that becomes their own medicine, depending on the tribe they belong to among the 12 tribes of Israel. Hence, Heka was known as the power of powers each person is born with. Stretched practice of Heka involved deification of magic and medicine from their original vessel into pictures, statues, animal parts, objects, masks, sculptures, et al. I'm going to repeat that because it is very important, especially for you guys living in Europe. You're going to comprehend this better. Stretched practice of Heka involved deification of magic and medicine from their original vessel into pictures, statues, animal parts, objects, masks, sculptures, et al. In West African metallurgy, the Yoruba people, the Igbo, you saw in West Africa, they used to have metals made out of people's faces. They just used to have their deities. West Africans, they have their deities that they worship, that they know contain particular spirits. Where are these spirits coming from? They were put there. The spirits have to be put there, and I'm going to tell you how. Now, look at Europeans. Europeans use witchcraft the most, especially this Heka witchcraft of deification. When you go to a country like France, they have images everywhere. They have sculptures of their ancestors everywhere. And especially sculptures that represent the 7 pillars of life, like the 7 days of the week. Europeans have built their country in a way that even if their descendants are unaware, just by walking around their environment, their descendants can subliminally be activated by the type of witchcraft they have put in their streets. Europeans have built their cities in a way that this Heka witchcraft is there, readily available. Look at Africa. People who've been traveled between Europe and Africa, look at how empty Africa is. In fact, Africa, the only deities we have are trees. In Africa, you wake up every day in the morning, you wake up to a bare land. Nobody's reminding you of anything. Nobody's reminding you that today is Monday. It's Monday, by the way. You're supposed to be feeling yourself. Europeans, they have that every single day, reminding every single person as long as they live in Europe. Do you know why? Their ancestors knew the knowledge of Heka. Their ancestors knew that the stretched practice of Heka involved deification of magic and medicine from their original vessels into pictures, into statues, into animal parts, into objects, into masks, into sculptures that would keep them alive even after the body that harnessed it is gone. Now, Heka was believed to be readily available not just to high vibrational people, but also ordinary people, and could be invoked both for good and evil. Heka was the old Kemetic word for supernatural forces that created and permeated the universe. Invocation of Heka was to specifically bring change, whether positive or negative. Now, Heka was invoked by those that were looking to cope with situations that appeared irrational in their own individual vision. So you see, even Europe is using Heka. Even Europe is using Heka. Even Europe is using Heka. And they're using this for enhancement of high albedo effects. Now, Heka was invoked by those that were looking to cope with situations that appeared irrational in their individual vision. Masters of Heka, modernly known as Reiki masters. I'm sure you've heard something about Reiki healers, Reiki masters or whatever. Those are just Heka's masters. Now, masters of Heka, which are modernly known as Reiki healers or Reiki masters, was skilled pattern recognizer. What makes you a Reiki master? If you are a skilled pattern recognizer. What makes you a Reiki healer or master of Heka is you being a skilled pattern recognizer. And masters of Heka, modernly known as Reiki healers, were skilled pattern recognizers who were consulted to aid in healing, protect against diseases, parasites, and respiratory problems. Now, the healing involved active invocation of clients, of a client. Now, listen here. Listen very well. You might be a Reiki healer and you don't know. You might be a master of Heka and you don't know. Because what is required is just for you to be a very skilled pattern recognizer. You can recognize patterns. And you can recognize patterns and fix them like a jigsaw puzzle. Now, healing involved. This is how Reiki healers heal. Healing involved invoking a client's might or will or intention or the power of powers within a client. For example, you are born in February, your self-belief is very staunch. When a Reiki healer wants to heal you, they must focus on your power of powers, the power that you get from you being among the 12 tribes of Israel. So now the healing involved active invocation of a client's might or will or intention or power of powers according to the house they belong to from within. Initially, Heka is not categorized as positive or negative, but just as a weapon that needs to be in the right hands. Africans did not say that, oh, the Heka practice is positive or negative or whatever. They just said it needs to be in the right hands because it can be positive and it can be negative. And guess what? It got into the right hands of Albedo, of Set, of the desert master. Look at where we are today. Spiritual desert. Why? Because Heka knowledge got into the hands of the Albedo. They ate from the tree of knowledge. Remember, some people are not supposed to eat from the tree of knowledge on this planet, especially if they've not grown skin yet. But guess what? They've led the world to a point where now you will eat. You will have to eat from the tree of knowledge or die. You know, white people, you don't know what is coming for you. A lot of white people, a lot of albedo people think that it is only black people that need to break the generational cycle. But guess what? From what you guys did, from what your ancestors did, and eating from the tree of knowledge by force, and yet you hadn't grown skin, so you took the knowledge and turned it upside down because by the use of your guns. Now we are at a point where you are going to have to eat from the tree of knowledge by force. Your ancestors stole their way into it and turned everything. Your ancestors ate into it by turning everything upside down. But now you are going to have to eat from the tree of knowledge by force. You're going to have to grow skin by force because we are no longer in those times when Africans are saying that, oh no, protect them, and don't let them eat from the forbidden fruit. Don't let them eat from the forbidden. There are people who are not supposed to eat from the forbidden fruit on this particular planet. That Adam and Eve story is some people's story. It is not African story, but it is some people's story. There are people who are not supposed to eat from the knowledge of from the tree of knowledge. Why? Because that knowledge was poisonous to them. But guess what? They ate by force and turned everything upside down. And now we are at a point where albedos will have to eat from the tree of knowledge by force. Because imagine being told that you've not grown skin. Imagine living in a world that tells you are a prokaryotic organism that has not yet fully developed. It is going to be a bitter pill to swallow for a lot of albedos. It is, even if it were me, if I was an albedo, that would have been a bitter pill to swallow. But guess what? Probably their genetic makeup allows them. Probably their genetic makeup gives them the opportunity to, swallow it. But, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, yes. Okay, I was here. Now, Masters of Eka, it's true, guys. It's true. You see, the level, what goes around comes around. The level of torture that African ancestors were projected to, that energy did not die. Energy once created cannot be destroyed. It can only be transmuted and it must make its way back. It's like when you come and you abuse me. When you come and you abuse me, that abuse, if you do it to me and I'm innocent, I did not do anything to you, it will come back to you. What goes around comes back around. That is the world that we live in. So whatever their ancestors did is going to come back around, but we are not going to project them to it. We are not going to subject them to it. They are going to subject themselves to it by themselves. Why? Because in the era of truth, it is the truth that will kill them. Nobody will. It is the truth that is going to either kill or make you grow skin. The truth is either going to kill you as an albedo individual or make you grow some skin. And people who are not willing to grow some skin are just going to die. And our ancestors said if the truth killed them, let them die. Let them die. Because the type of truth that is coming after what our ancestors went through, know that they are going to experience exactly what our ancestors went through. But now in another dimension, because black people, we are not violent people. We do not subject people to revenge or anything like that. Though there are black people who will want to subject them to revenge. But me, as a spiritual teacher, I am telling you, do not. The war is the Lord's. The war is the Lord. You just walk in your truth. Tell your own truth. Walk in your truth. Tell your own truth. Walk in your truth. Tell your own truth. At the end of the day, the truth has its own spirit. It will stand. And even their Hamis told them, you always hear me saying Hamis and the Siod, Hamis and the Siod. The Greeks knew. But because the Greeks, they did not care about their coming descendants. They did not care about their coming descendants. As we have ancestors who cared about the decisions that they were making, and how it will affect the coming generation up to the 7th generation. The Greeks knew the decisions that they were making were going to, fuck with their descendants. They knew the decisions that they were making were going to affect their descendants negatively, but they did not care. Why? Because they are a careless race. I will tell you that for free. They are a careless race so much that their own ancestors did not care about the future of their own people. So now we are here. You have to deal with the consequences of your ancestors. And it's not going to be easy. In fact, some of us are going to cry for you. It's going to be very painful. Some of us are even going to cry for you. And there are some black people who are going to want revenge by force. It's okay. Me, I don't know what was done to your own specific ancestors. I cannot come and tell you, don't do it, or don't do it. Now that is between your ancestors and their ancestors. But me as a spiritual teacher teaching you, I will always tell you, the war is the Lord's. Those who live by the sword, die by the sword. So the best thing you can do is live your truth, speak your truth, even when it is uncomfortable to other people. But don't hold your sword against anyone. The universe will do that for you. The universe will do that for you. And as I'm continuing, Heka was invoked. Okay, that was not where I was. I was saying masters of Heka, modernly known as the Reiki healers, were skilled pattern recognizers who were consulted to aid in healing, protect against diseases, parasites, and respiratory problems. Now, the healing involved active invocation of the client's might. Guys, remember when you come to healers, They're just gonna help you heal yourself by invoking the God of gods within you, by invoking the power of powers within you. For example, you go to a healer and you're an Aquarius. The healer already know that the gods of gods and the power of powers within you is self-knowledge. So they will just make sure that that self-knowledge of yours is spiking through the roof. And then when it spikes through the roof, it is going to heal all the other houses. So that is how these people heal. And that is how the Heka masters, they healed. If you're a Scorpio, you go to a healer, they will tell you that, your healing comes from you being a god of self-desire. If you are a Sagittarius, you go to a healer, they will tell you that your healing comes from you seeing yourself. And the moment you see yourself fully, all the other houses will fall into place. So kindly, if you want to start practicing this, go practice this. Because the healing, we are gifted in it. Honor, don't wait for a white man's paper for you to start helping the people that you're supposed to be helping. I'm talking to the healers in the comment section. Don't fear, don't let imposter syndrome stop you from practicing what you're supposed to be practicing. Try it, my dear. Just try it. You will heal one person, and that one person, it will now give you the confidence to continue. Start from somewhere. Challenge yourself. Don't be a healer and you're seated at home and you know very well you can heal people, you can help people, but you're sitting on it. Move away the imposter syndrome. Forget about the white man's papers and start practicing what your ancestors brought you here to practice. Use me as an example. Me, I'm practicing what I am practicing. I don't care about what anybody thinks. At the end of the day, I'm helping those I'm helping, and we were moving on. Tunasonga mbele kama injili. That's what I am here for. Now, initially, Heka was not categorized as positive or negative, but just as a weapon that needed to be in the right hands. However, with colonial invasion, missionaries, Heka was divided into two. Heka was now divided into two. Listen to this. Listen to this. Europeans divided Heka into two. This is where you get African juju, dark magic, black magic, witchcrafts, because all of it comes from Heka. Now, with colonial invasion and missionaries, remember, missionaries were colonizers. They were the same people. Heka was divided into two, which protective and beneficial to high albedo effect. That type of Heka was called white magic. Example, the Lucis Trust. Lucis Trust is an example of white magic. The Vatican is an example of white magic. So any magic that was protective and beneficial to the high albedo effect became white magic. And any magic that was protective and beneficial to the African man and his progress became black magic, voodoo, witchcraft, juju, to be casted out away. In fact, South Africans even have a rule against African magic in their constitution. South Africans, in their constitution, they have a law that forbids you from practicing any African supernatural forces or powers to live your life. And then you want to tell me South Africans know who the white man is. You don't know. Don't even open your mouth. You don't know anything. The white man just came there with his blindfolded you. Somebody's telling me not anymore since when, and I saw it 2 months ago. Since when did they remove it, my dear Kelselaole? Kelselaelo, when did they remove it? Because I saw it 2 months ago. Was it 2 months ago or 1 month ago? Yeah, so that when you hear dark magic, just know that any magic that is for the progress. Remember, Africans did not categorize Heka as positive or negative. It is the white man that now came and said, you know what? Things like the Lucis Trust, the Vatican eating the body and drinking the blood, those are now white magic. Those are now good magic that everybody must accept. But any voodoo, any African juju, anything that is for the good of the black man, remove it. Remove it. In fact, put it in the constitution as black magic, dark magic, demonic magic. And let's get rid of it. And that is where we are living up to today. If you choose me, I'm not living there. But some of you are still living in that, thinking that the church has your back when it is eating your back. The church is eating your kundalini from the back. The church is eating your kundalini, and so moves me to the next topic. Ways to individually protect yourself. Listen to me now. Listen to me now. Normalize washing your ass with water, especially in times when you're quarreling with people, when you have squabbles, when you have domestic violence, when you have diseases. Why? Some people think that washing your ass with water is just, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. Somebody who studied microbiology will tell you that the coliforms, they smear. Whenever you're smearing it with a tissue, you're only smearing it. In fact, you're creating more space for it to smear on your ass, which is okay if you are not a quarreler. No soap, no soap, no soap. It's okay if you're not a quarreler. It's okay if you're a peaceful person. It's okay if you grew up in love. You grew up in a family that is loving. You are whole. It's okay. You can wipe your ass with tissue all you want. However, if you are somebody who you quarrel a lot, you are always in squabbles with people. You are somebody who you're always dealing with diseases. You're always dealing with domestic violence issues. You're always fighting somehow, or people are always fighting you. Wash your ass with water. Normalize, especially during those periods. During other days, you can wipe your ass with tissue. And I'm going to tell you why. During other days, you can wipe your ass with tissue. But when you are in those moments where you are squabbling, rubbing shoulders with people, please wash your ass with water. Why? Because inside your stool is where the spiritual pathogens exist after your white blood cells have successfully fought the foreign attacks out of your body. A microbiologist will tell you that every time you go to the lab, they will tell you, bring your stool. Bring your stool, we test it. Bring mafi yako to test, tuone kama uko na ugonjwa. Why? Because after your white blood cells have fought every spiritual attack on your body, guess where they go to converge? At your ass. In your ass now, that is where they are creating their own crusade there. So washing your ass with water symbolizes emotional send-off and cleansing. Anytime you wash your ass with water, you are emotionally sending off all the attacks, all that attacks that were put into you and your white blood cells successfully fought them. You are sending it off emotionally and cleansing that particular doorway. I don't know how you're gonna do it, if you're gonna wipe first and then wash, whatever, which direction you want to use. You can ask Muslims. They will tell you the best directions to use, but you do them. And then you will see the difference. You will never have, people will punch the wall when they're punching you in terms of quarrels. But if you don't do this, you will always feel the effect. It will affect you more because those energies are still in your ass. They're still in your ass, hanging there. Some of them, they even go back to your vagina and cause you diseases. Some of them, they even cause diseases in that ass of yours. So please, normalize. Normalize. I come in peace, so I'm not judging anybody. Especially the Christians. You are the victims. Muslims are better off. I'm not judging anybody. This is just teaching or making life easier. Now, the second one, fast. Normalize fasting, especially in times of confusion. Anytime you are confused, normalize not eating to protect your self-analysis from wilding. Please, whenever you are not eating, you're just staying with your energies alone. Remember, food is energy coming from plants. It is energy coming from other animals, depending on whatever you eat. Whenever you are confused and you're still just stuffing more energy, the energies you have, you don't know how to analyze it. You're confused. The energy you already have within you, you don't know how to analyze it. You're already confused. Adding more is causing your self-analysis to go wild. You are making your self-analysis to go wild. It's like now, the self-analysis is now like, now which one are we going to begin with now? But when you cut the intake, it's like you're like, we've gotten enough. Close the door first. We deal with these clients that we have over here. That is what fasting is about. Close the door. Let's deal with these clients that we have here first. It is crowded. They're going to cause an stampede if we continue eating. You don't want to cause an stampede in your stomach. Remember, I did not tell you to wash time. I told you wash your ass if you know you quarrel a lot, if you know you have squabbles a lot with diseases. Please wash your ass when you know you are there. I'm telling you fasting. I'm not telling you to fast all the time. I'm only telling you fast when you're confused, especially. That's where you can start. Whenever you hit a horn of dilemma. Whenever you don't know which decision to make. You don't know which direction to go. Fast, baby. Fast, baby. Now, the third way, as we go deep, we're going to get deeper. The third way to protect yourself is mask. Mask. Do you know mask in simple words? Lie. 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 As long as you know you are not lying to yourself, lie. And why am I saying this? Mask. Create an altar where you deal with people directly behind closed doors in private, while you mask in their presence to avoid physical confrontation, especially if you are a peace lover who hates exchanging words and rubbing shoulders unnecessarily. Should I repeat?
That's what I'm saying. This is how the twist
lie
when you tumble, and this is going to be up here.
When masking, you are allowed to lie as much as you want, as long as you know you are not lying to yourself behind closed doors, and keeping the 7 days commitment of doing no evil and accepting no evil intact.
Just, Rosa, I don't have time. Just do whatever.
Mask. Another way to protect yourself spiritually is masking, meaning create your own altar in your private house, in your private room, in your private place. Even if you are going to create it in the forest, I don't care and I don't know. Create your private altar. And then when you create this private altar, deal with people directly behind closed doors in this altar, in private. While you mask, when you come to their face, you mask in their presence. To avoid physical confrontation, especially if you are a peace lover who hates exchanging words and rubbing shoulders. Exchanging words and rubbing shoulders will never take you anywhere on this particular planet. It will only exhaust you. Fighting physically will only exhaust you. So if you're somebody who you're like, no, I don't want to deal with that, don't deal with it. Summon people inside your altar. Create voodoo dolls that represents each and every individual that you're dealing with. And then before you go speaking to them, I don't know whether that voodoo doll is your boyfriend. Before you go speaking to them in reality, speak to them behind closed doors. But don't be a fool. Don't be somebody who you speak to your boyfriend behind closed doors and then you go tell your boyfriend, you know, I spoke with you. I spoke with you behind closed doors. I have a voodoo doll of you. That one you will kill. Create your altar. Have your people there. If you're somebody who you know your brain is not strong, create a voodoo doll. Create a doll. Represent. Like these dolls, they're not demonic. They're just there to make your work easy. For example, if I'm to create this doll and I say, okay, now this one is Atieno I'm dealing with. Atieno is an abusive person outside your life so much. Maybe Atieno is a co-worker who is always on your case, always on your case, always on your case. You do nothing to them, they're always on your case. Create Atieno behind closed doors. And then to address Atieno. But when you come to Atieno's face, pretend and lie and wear a mask. Don't let them know what is going on behind closed doors. So that is literally what ancient Africans used to do. Our ancestors had a lot of masks. What do you think they were for? What do you think they were for? Self-protection. Self-protection, guys. Guys, be somebody who you can act. Everybody can act on this planet. Be somebody you can act. Somebody is being a menace to your life. And you have done nothing to them. Don't address them on a physical point. Somebody is being a menace in your life, but they're probably stronger than you. Don't address them in a physical point. Masquerade. Masquerade. Confidently, my friend. By the way, when I start teaching you these things, Don't go here docile, people pleasing, people pleaser, thinking that you're going to get your way. This thing wants people who are staunch. This thing wants the totem of the rhino. You can't be a people pleaser and start practicing such kind of things. Itakulipukia. Bro, mwache wanyi. But as long as you know you are not a people pleaser and all you want from this world is the best for yourself, then limit how much you interact with people. Sometimes interacting with people face to face all the time can be exhausting. Create voodoo dolls. Create people. And make sure that the people that you're creating, you are keeping a spiritual hygiene. Because now I will tell you, when you start partaking in spiritual matters, spiritual hygiene is number one. And where do you get spiritual hygiene? Do no evil, accept no evil. Now, if you want to be consistent with it, take the 7 pillars. Every day, 7 days a week, you're doing no evil, accepting no evil. 7 days a week, you're doing no evil, accepting no evil. 7 days a week, you're doing no evil, accepting no evil. The universe will do as you please if you live like that. The universe will always do as you please if you live like that. So I will repeat, mask. Create an altar where you deal with people directly behind closed doors while you mask their presence to avoid, while you mask in their presence to avoid physical confrontation, especially if you are Are we together, guys? When masking, you are allowed to lie as much as you want.
That's why I keep telling
And when I'm saying lying, guys, let's take for example, let me give you an example.
I'm not talking about it.
You are a spiritual person. You have a friend who you know hates you. And then they invite you somewhere. And inside you feel like this is a negative invite. They are inviting you to go butcher you. They are inviting you to go kill you or whatever. You can lie. You can lie that, you know, I've traveled abroad. I will not be around next week. Just to avoid going. And then when you are in the presence, you wear a mask like, oh my God, I wasn't able to make it, you know. But at the back of your mind, you know what? I just didn't want to go. But why are you, you know, if you follow the long path, you will start that, you know, I don't want to go because you guys are terrible energy. And then you will start a confrontation. They will start saying, oh, who do you think you are? Why are you saying that we are terrible energy? Who do you think you are or whatever? To avoid all that, just tell them, girl, my mother died, girl. I can't come, girl. No, as long as at the end of the day, behind closed doors, you know that you're not lying to yourself. Like, you know the truth, your truth. In fact, you can even laugh. You can even laugh, fool you. Foolish. I just don't want to come, bitch. I just don't wanna. Yeah. Guys, are you getting my point? You know, some people are laughing in the comment section, but are you getting my point? These things are very important. Some people, they follow the long path. You are too truthful even to people who are detrimental to your own existence. You care so much about being truthful even to people who are lying to you. Use your intuition. Lie to those who are lying to you. Be terrible to those who are terrible to you according to your intuition. But don't show them. Wear a mask. We're good. You know, smile. Everybody can fake it. Everybody can fake it. So just cheza kama wewe, my friend. Cheza kama wewe. Being too truthful to your enemies is leakage of energy. Being too truthful to the monitoring spirits in your life is you leaking your energy. Mislead. Have fun in this planet. Mislead people who you know are wanting your downfall. Mislead people who you know are praying for you to die. Mislead the demons. Authentic authenticity is you being authentic to yourself, my friend. Your authenticity has nothing to do with you being authentic to other people. Your self-belief has nothing to do with you believing in other people. Your self-knowledge has nothing to do with you knowing other people. Your self-vision has nothing to do with you seeing other people. It is you. Are you authentic to yourself? Are you believing in yourself? Are you supporting? It is you. All these 12 houses, you are supposed to be you and you. It is you and you. What if I can't be fake? Everybody, now leave the art of masks alone and walk the long path. If you can't be fake, then go being real even with people who are fake to you. And let's see what you get out of that. You must learn. We live in a dangerous world. You must know how to be dangerous as well. If we live in a dangerous world, if you want to survive, you must know how to be dangerous yourself. You can't be living in a dangerous world and then you're just walking there like a gazelle. Living among lions, you're just walking like, oh, you know, lions are good for us. And you're a gazelle. Bitch. Even in nature, they lie a lot. Even animals, they lie. Here we live in a jungle and survival is for the fittest. Here we live in a jungle and survival is for the fittest. Your ability to protect the environment is you being angelic. Your ability to protect yourself is you being demonic. You must balance the two. You can't just be someone who you're protecting the environment. You're protecting the outside world, protecting the outside world. Oh, I don't want to tell them lies because I'm protecting them. And then who is protecting you? Are you protecting you? Because it doesn't matter how much you're protecting the outside world. If you don't protect yourself, nonsense. Nothing will come out of it. So I'll repeat, when lying, you're allowed to mask. Okay, when masking, you're allowed to lie as much as you want. And when lying, you're allowed to mask as much as you want. So when masking, you're allowed to lie as much as you want, as long as you know you are not lying to yourself. Guys, when you're lying to somebody, just, even you can even tell yourself that, now we are lying, baby. Can you please, my ancestors, all my ancestors who are good liars, stand behind me. We are lying now. Be like that, as long as yourself is the one that kills you. Your inner Kiyama is the one that kills you. Nobody on the outside has potential to kill you but yourself. If you are somebody who you cannot have a conversation with yourself and be like, oh, by the way, we lied to them. Now you want to act like it's true. Like, I did not lie to you. And when you are talking to your inner Kiyama in private, you are like, oh, we did not lie to them. You cannot lie to your body. Just be honest with your God. Never use the name of the Lord your God in vain. So when you're lying, tell God that, God, we are lying now. We are wearing a mask now. Your God will not be mad at you. Oh, your God knows how to lie too. Now, if you are weak, now this is another way to spiritually protect yourself. If you know you are spiritually weak, pay a hacker master to pattern recognize for you. I told you the Reiki healers. Pay somebody. Me personally, I have clients that I love so much. But if you're watching me here and you're my client, I have the best clients on this planet. Pay people. There are people who are very good at pattern recognition. They will recognize for you even the people in your family who are fucking you up. It is a gift that they're given from God, and they've worked hard to make sure. Their ancestors worked hard, and they are also working hard to make sure that it stays accurate. So recognize a Reiki healer that you trust, that your body feels drawn to, and go walk with them. Go walk with them. Please, when it comes to when you're spiritually weak, and this one I will talk about even chai. If you know you're spiritually weak, don't drink tea from people who are spiritually weak like you. Guys, there are always examinations that we are always taking. When Mercury is retrograde, there is exam. When Mars is retrograde, Venus is retrograde, there is always examination. Now, during these examinations, they happen even publicly. We will have a public issue like Nara Smith is a public issue. Which another, like we have public issues now. There are people who they do not have their own stand. If you know you are spiritually weak, you cannot have your own stand on a public issue. Copy the choppies. Copy people who you know they always make good public decisions. And even if you're copying them, don't be loud. If you know you are copying somebody in exam, don't be loud with that copy. Also try and make it yours a little bit. You know, when you're copying people in an exam room, you don't just copy everything, copy paste. You read, at least you read 2 sentences, and then you will remember that, oh, this is the path you're supposed to following. I'll take this answer. But some people, you know you are spiritually weak. When exam is done, you still follow and you still stick to the opinions of influencers that you always see flopping public exams. You still, an exam comes, and you know, like, let me give an example, Maureen. Maureen is an influencer who in any public debate, she's always choosing a side that loses. In any public debate, she's always choosing a side that loses. And then we have Monica. Monica, in any public examination, Monica is always choosing a side that wins. Monica is always choosing a side that wins. And then there is an exam, you find people still choosing the side of Maureen. Fools still choosing the side of Maureen and leaving the side of Monica. Writing stay on the wall. Please, if you know you are spiritually weak and you cannot think for yourself, copy people who you believe in and you've seen their results before. You will never, in school, you will never find a student sitting next to a danda like them and copying their examination. Apply that in life too, as well. Apply that in life as well. Yeah, but at the end of the day, somebody's saying at least Maureen, consistent in what? Consistent in failing. Imagine you have an examination, you are going to the examination center. Like, let's say University of Nairobi, we had a place called examination center where we used to go do exam. So you know, every examination Maureen scores 20%. Every examination Maureen scores 20%. But Maureen is this student who pretends that they're always reading. They're always reading. They're always reading. They're always reading. You know, they're pretending that they're choppy, but they're not. So every time the results are out, they are 20%. And then there's Monica, who every time the results are out, Monica, in fact, is not even a bookworm. Monica is not even a bookworm. But every time results are released, Monica is at 99%. Monica is at 99%. Now, in the next exam, who will you sit next to? Apply logic in life. You know, there are people who, that is how they survive. Especially people who gamble. People who trade in Forex. These people, they follow the ones who are always winning. The ones who are always winning. The ones who are always winning. Because if you follow the one who is always losing, and you keep following the one who's always losing, thinking that, oh, by this time I think they're going to pass. Same results. Same results. The writings, they stay on the walls. The writings, they stay on the walls. So I'm telling you, if you're spiritually weak, pay the hacker masters to pattern recognize for you. Pay the Reiki healers to pattern recognize for you. You will have an easy time, but it will have you invest your money, but you will have an easy time. Because at the end of the day, nothing is for free in this particular world. Now, find out the next way to protect yourself spiritually. Find out the ways in which your individual ancestors protected themselves in your thoughts, processes. And remember, this is the best. This is the best. Yes, Crystal, happy life, pattern recognition. Pattern recognition. We have pattern recognizers on this world that will just tell you. You go to them and they'll just tell you, by the way, your aunt, that aunt of yours, stay the fuck away from them. Because you went to them like, you know, my aunt is such a good person. She likes my daughter. But when I was pregnant, she hated my pregnancy because she lost her pregnancy. But when I gave birth, she really likes my daughter. But lately, my daughter has been having chest issues. And then you're like, oh, but my aunt has always been so nice to me. She's wearing a mask. People wear masks. People wear masks. So when you go to a Reiki healer, they will just pattern recognize and tell you, stay the fuck away from that person, bitch. They will tell you what you are not seeing. They will tell you what the masks that people are wearing around you. Because sometimes your eyes alone cannot see sometimes. So subjecting whatever you're going through to another eye just to see for you can help you a lot. Trust that, because we have hacker masters on this particular planet and they exist in plenty. Most of them just have imposter syndrome.
Hey,
But many of them are
said
practicing.
you're bringing a t-shirt.
Now I'm gonna go on. The best way to protect yourself. This is the best way to protect yourself. This one I recommend
Why you chose the outfit you wore?
100%. I recommend 100.
Feeling sex. Okay, go put on your shirt. You want to experiment? Let's do it. I'm just trying to figure out where you're at. Your dad's not gonna be happy with this, but you're coming out with me. Let's see how you operate. Go. Because we're gonna be late. Where's your shirt? Where's your shirt? Just grab it. You don't want to feel bad? Go get your shirt.
Member, get back into membership. You know the part of you that is going to mandamano, you guys are calling.
Torso, you want to show it off, right? So then go get your top.
Empathy without protection is useless. When you are somebody who you protect the outside more than you protect yourself, you are an empath, useless. When you are somebody who you protect yourself more than you protect the outside, you are a narcissist. It's also useless. You are supposed to be somebody who you protect the outside as much as you protect the inside. It must be balanced. It must be a point of equilibrium. Now, the parts of you that protect us on a collective level is your angelic parts. The parts of you that protect you at an individual level is your demonic parts. Ask yourself, this now. What were the demonic? demonic parts of your ancestors. Remember the parts of you that protects you. Just waiting for you to tap in. Some of your ancestors protected themselves by killing other people. Or to kill these ones. And they were some ancestors protected themselves by stealing. No, we live in a jungle. Hey. Have a spiritual room where if anybody tries shit on you, you just go to your spiritual room and pick a weapon. You just go to your spiritual room and pick a weapon, but don't go starting trouble. Those who live by the sword die by the sword. Use your demonic side to protect yourself, but don't use it to attack other people. Just use it to protect yourself. Have all these swords, have all these spiritual guns, spiritual swords, but keep them safe. Just wait for that one motherfucker who will dare. Wait for that one motherfucker who will dare. And then you unleash, because you are allowed to protect yourself. The part of you that protects you is your demonic side. The parts of you that protects the entire planet is your angelic side. Use both. Use both. Always be in a position where you are able to protect yourself and also come out to protect the collective consciousness if there's need. A lot of laughter is coming in the comment section, but I'm just telling you, call a spade a spade. Call a spade a spade. Yes, do evil for protection. Do evil for protection. Because look at this. Do no evil and accept no evil. Imagine you are somebody who you do no evil, but you have no way to protect yourself from evil. You will accept it. Just by not having self-defense mechanism already makes you somebody who will accept evil in default. Do no evil, accept no evil. Do no evil, accept no evil. When you don't have defense mechanism, you don't have spiritual swords, you don't have spiritual guns, then you will accept evil by default. You will become a victim of circumstances. So as much as you are not doing evil, train yourself. Go to karate, go to kung fu, spiritually, physically, buy guns. Because that's how we protect. We live in a jungle. We live in a jungle. We live in a jungle where the Vatican is telling you the world is peaceful. Go to Europe. Europe, someone will shoot your forehead just by you looking at them. Someone will run away with your lips just by you talking back to them. Africans know that that is the jungle that we live in. So Africans are a lot of Africans don't have concepts of protecting themselves. And that is what is making us spiritually weak. And the reason why we are like that is because of the Vatican, nothing else. I will tell you, it's the Vatican that a lot of Africans don't know how to protect themselves. And just like there was somebody who posted here, there is a podcast that I came across on TikTok that was a woman, a very staunch spiritual woman. I saw it even from her aura. She was saying that, there are people who are impossible to hex. Did somebody watch that video? There are people who are impossible to hex, and then there are people who are easy to hex. You live like an antelope among lions. You'll be very easy if you're somebody who you don't know how to protect yourself. You're somebody so that I loved the way that woman, she just spoke it raw. She just spoke it raw. And she said a lot of people are very easy to hex because they don't have the spiritual discipline. They have no spiritual hygiene. Very easy to hex. Do you know where the spiritual hygiene is? Do no evil, accept no evil. I want to do it like this to be consistent. Do no evil, accept no evil. That is where the spiritual hygiene is. A lot of people, they don't have the spiritual hygiene. There are people who they will do no evil but accept evil. The moment you are somebody who you do no evil and you accept evil and then you call yourself an empath, useless. Nobody cares if you're doing no evil to anybody. Nobody cares. Some people, they think they'll be given a salary because they do no evil to anybody. Even the people who are doing evil to them, instead of them attacking back, they run to public. Oh my God, he did this to me. He did this to me. Nobody gives a fuck. Protect yourself at an individual level. You know, and they do this because the Vatican has lied to them that we are supposed to be feeling sorry for the disease. We are supposed to be feeling sorry for the sick in the society. We are supposed to be feeling sorry for the weak, for the spiritually weak. Nobody will feel sorry for you. The times are changing. Astrological placements are changing. So you must defend yourself. It's like an antelope. An antelope being attacked by a lion and it is crying that, oh my God, it is attacking me. Come help me. Nobody cares. I will tell you that for free. Some people don't want to hear this. Nobody gives a fuck. And people who are telling you they care, they are like you. They don't give a fuck. But they behave like you. They are people pleasers. So you will go to them that, oh my God, I did no evil to him, but he was evil to me. And because they are also doing no evil and accepting, they will just be embracing you like, oh, that's so wrong of them. That's so wrong of them. You guys are birds of a feather, useless together. Useless together. Now, psychics. This is for psychics. This is now for psychics. Always know that intuition comes before memory. As a psychic, meaning you have XXX or XX. You know, women, you either have X, XX, or XXX. So if you have XXX in your chromosomal arrangement, meaning your intuition is very sharp as a woman, always know that intuition comes before memory. For example, I want to give this example. So please listen. As a psychic, women who are psychic, women who get intuitive messages, all women who are psychic get intuitive messages. So don't think you are special. It is normal, like breathing in and out. But what you do with that particular content that you got is what matters. Everybody gets it. Everybody gets the pentacles. Everybody gets the coins. But are you somebody who is going to bury the coins? Are you somebody who is going to grow the coins? Or are you somebody who is going to just keep the coin and add nothing to it? Listen. Psychics always know that intuition comes before memory. For example, you might meet someone and you feel something deep, like a connection onto them. I'll start. You might meet someone and you feel something deep, like a connection to them, as a result of your body forecasting the future between your path and this person's path crossing in future. But now, you've met somebody and you feel like, for example, you've met me. I get this a lot from psychics who are childish. You met me and something makes you, I feel connected to you. I feel like like that is your body telling you that you feel connected to me so much. You feel connected to me so much. But it is in your intuition. You don't know why. You don't know why you feel connected to me. Something is just telling you that we are connected. Now listen. You might meet someone and you feel something deep, like a connection to them, as a result of your body forecasting the future before your path. As a result of your body forecasting the future, because your path and this person crosses in the future, but not now. It crosses in the future, but not now. Even chickens, when drought is coming, they know. Cows, when there's a flood coming, they know. Birds, when there's a natural calamity coming, they know. They hear it in their intuition. I hope you're listening to me. They hear it in their intuition. But it is coming in the future, not now. So allow your intuition to be backed by memory before rushing to this person to tell them how, oh, I feel connected to you. I feel like you're going to save my life. Oh, I feel like we are going to whatever. And yet the memory has not yet come. You only feel the intuition. Wait for intuition to form memory unless you want to be called psychotic. Some of you cannot wait on the Lord. You get an intuition, like if you are cows, you would get an intuition that flood is coming, and that flood is coming next year. But you this year, you're already running. You're already telling people, oh my God, flood is coming. Flood is coming. You're losing your mind over it. Wakanda. Wakanda means intuition before memory. When it is just intuition, there's nothing. There's nothing when it is just intuition. You have to wait for memory to back it up. Sit on that intuition until memory comes to back it up for you. Because if you come to me, oh my God, I feel connected to you. I feel like to you. I will be like, no. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. But guess what? In future, probably there's a way in which our paths crosses that we benefit each other. Or in future, there's a way in which our paths crosses that I benefit you. But you can already feel it now. And because you can already feel it now, you're already coming to tell me. Now you're telling me to do what? For me to now jump into that future and be like, oh, by the way, now I'm here. Now let me do what I'm supposed to do. Don't be like that. Some spiritual people, that is how you end up in jail. You end up in mental institutions because you cannot sit on intuition until memory comes. You cannot sit on intuition until memory comes. And there's a verse in the Bible that even backs this up. Psalms chapter 110, verse 1. But when you're reading the Bible, read it upside down. This verse is talking about sit at my left arm. It is not talking about right arm. Remember, the Bible is turned upside down. So this verse is saying, sit at my left arm until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. Sit in your intuition until memory comes to prove you right. And if it comes even feeling negatively towards people, like you meet me, you know, and then you just feel like, oh, it's you feel negative, some negative thing. There's something about her that is, I don't like. There's something about her. And then you're coming to tell me, now what am I doing? I've not done anything to you. I will consider you psychotic. You are experiencing psychosis, my friend. Because now why are you attacking me? Because you felt like I am a terrible person. Wait for me to be a terrible person. And then you will be like, my intuition was right. But your intuition is there to have you be a watchdog. Once your intuition has told you that Surinyar Kano is not giving you good energy, just keep your eyes open now. Maybe your ancestors are playing games on you. Maybe your intuition is wrong about me in a way that I am going to prove myself and tell you that, oh, by the way, I'm not that bird. You thought I was bad, I'm not that bird. But imagine you already condemned me from your intuition. And then now memory comes and you realize I'm a good person, but you already talked shit about me to your friends. Now you cannot come back from it. Now you've already planted karma. But you guess what? If you did not talk about it, if you saw me, like for example, if I saw like, let's say Sunshine, and Sunshine gave me some negative energy, but I did not react on it. I just wore my mask and I was like, oh, she has not done anything to me. So I'm just going to wear my mask and, you know, keep observing. And then Sunshine turns out to be amazing, amazing, amazing. Because I sat on my intuition and I did not go mouthing them to anybody. I did not go creating memory against them. I can just swallow. I can now just swallow that thought. That thought that I previously thought that Sunshine is a terrible person. I can now just swallow it. And be like, you know what? In fact, I did not say it. Did you hear me say it? It's only me and me that know I say it. It's only me and me that knows I said it. So I can talk to myself and say that, you know what, baby? I know we judged her harshly. But now she's shown us she's a good person. So let's just swallow this shit that we thought. You know, she's proved us wrong. It is easy for you to move forward if you don't react to your intuition immediately. Learn to Wakanda forever. No face, no case, exactly. No face, no case. No face, no case. And this is why I always say, gossip about people with yourself more. Gossip about people with yourself more than you're gossiping about people with other people. Because now, guess what? If you met me, and then you judge me that I'm a terrible person from the energies you got from me, and then you went and told it to your friends, told it to your friends, told it to your friends. And then in the end of the day, you realize that, oh, actually, I'm a good person that was supposed to help you do something. In fact, we were supposed to become friends in the end. But now when it is our time to become friends, you cannot become my friends because you know what? Your face, you already told your friends. You already bad-mouthed me to your friend. So when you're becoming my friend, your friends will be asking, is it not the person you bad-mouthed? And now you're stuck. Now you don't know which way to go. Now you self-sabotage. Guys, are you getting what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? Learn to keep your intuition intact. It can always go any direction. Because sometimes your intuition comes as a result of you projecting on people. Allow your ancestors to teach you whether this person is good or bad. Each time. Sometimes your intuition shows you that somebody is terrible when in actuality you were just projecting on them, and time will prove to you that this person is actually not bad for your essence. Gossip about people with yourself because yourself will never tell on you. Me, I've done this a lot, and that's why I'm telling you this. There are so many people I have judged harshly from the beginning with myself, and I told them, but with time, they proved themselves to be actually harmless individuals who are amazing for me. And because I did not go gossiping, showing my face to other people on the outside, no face, no case. I can just camouflage. And when I camouflage the fact that I did not tell anybody, I will not feel guilty because my body knows that I've repented. I've changed my perspective. And now I can actually go and become friends with this person and nobody will give me a bombastic side eye because I did not gossip. I did not take intuition outside before it was ready. I hope you're getting me. Please, these are some of the ways you spiritually protect yourself. These are some of the ways you spiritually protect yourself. And the class is just over like that too. The class is just over. Those are the information I had for you guys today. Please, live in this and, stay connected to all and attached to nothing. Stay connected to all and attached to nothing and move towards things that wish to see you walk the path of your highest good. Even when you're praying to your ancestors, pray to the ancestors who wish to see you walk the path of your highest good. Pray to the ancestors who wish to see themselves walk the path of your highest good, of their highest good. It will take you far in life. It will give you amazing friends. It will give you amazing community. It will have you live in peace. It will have you live your life in peace. So please, take that advice. Me, I give you advices that I've tried in the laboratory and has worked. Yeah, so yes, that was the session today. So people are saying beautiful session. I love it as well. And to my, my subscribers who are not in Kenya, kindly pray for us. Pray for, our country is at a fucking sticky situation. But we will get out of it. Pray for us and hold spiritual space for us. And please, may the spiritually hygienic win. May the spiritually hygienic win in Kenya. May the spiritually hygienic win in Kenya. That's all I'll say. Other than that, I am going. Somebody's saying, Siri, I have a question. Why would one attract clients who have payment issues or boundaries, or they delay paying? Boundaries, guys. Or if you have a business, organize your business in a way that you are getting your payment before you even the service. Or as you give the service, you're getting the payment. Just have your own boundaries. That is just teaching you about boundaries. When you said don't be somebody who you are, empaths. Empathy is a hoax. Empathy is a hoax. Be somebody who you are confident in the energy you are giving. So much that you don't beg people to pay. You don't beg people to, please pay for it, please pay for it. Leave that for hawkers.
For what reason?
Unless you are a hawker. Now if you are a hawker, please get into the hawking lifestyle. Because now you will mtasumbuana kulipa. But if you know you are not a hawker who is begging telling people to
Your
buy.
stomach is showing in this.
Set boundaries. Set boundaries.
Well, then again, when I'm
Yes. Anyway, guys,
Sure.
today I just wanted to go live brief.
I don't want to.
And I love it. I love that people did not misbehave in the comment section. Because I love you guys.
What's wrong
By
with
the
you?
way,
You?
before
What's
I
wrong
leave
with
this,
you?
I just want to
And
say,
why? What do
people
you
who
do
support
that-
me
that makes
truly,
you think that
and not
this
just
is
supporting me. I know you support me because you support yourselves. People who support themselves.
You see why the
My dears,
sensitization
nawapenda nawapenda jinsi ambavyo mimi najipenda mimi. I love you the way I love myself. And let's keep moving forward. We are already here. Let's take spaces in whichever places we are, and let the frogs keep croak, croak, croak. The croak, croak, croak of frogs does not hinder the cow from drinking water. So let the frogs croak, croak, croak until their voices they are now tired. Until their voices they are now tired as we are moving forward like Injili.
Makes sense.
Forward like the gospel.
You want attention.
Let's keep moving forward, and I pray that TikTok opens the leeway for us to start posting soon. But as I told you, in fact, I love the fact that I got this period just to teach and connect with certain people, because you guys are my community now. Forward ever, backward never. Hey, best mini, thank you, best mama. Thank you so much. 317 subscribers. Mwah, 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 mwah. Mbele kama injili. Mbele kama injili. Mbele kama injili. Mbele kama injili, please. Mtengeneze vududo. Tengenezeni vududo. Na mudili na watu wenye wanawachezea. Hakuna kubembeleza. Hakuna kubembeleza. Wasema okay only.
Dress tastefully, but when you just
Wasema okay.
they're just showing off
Only.
for what?
Wasema okay. Only. And always know that because I was talking about protection today, outside protection is an illusion.
Dress how you dress.
Outside protection does not exist. If you are not protecting yourself from the inside, from the 12 houses from the inside, and you think that you can put protection from outside, it is an illusion. So don't fall for it. Other than that, I love my subscribers so much. You guys are top notch. And I will forever love you. And I will forever keep you close to my heart. And I pray for you whenever I pray. I hope you guys always get it. How do you make a voodoo? Chukua anything. You can even imagine when it comes to making a voodoo doll now. You can even take just a paper, draw someone's face, and just say that this is now called a tieno. It doesn't have to be so much. You can even just do this. This can be your voodoo doll. This can be your voodoo doll. So don't overdo, don't overthink it or whatever. Just do what you feel called to do. If you
especially if it's
get it, you can even go to the shops and buy the dolls. These dolls that kids play with. These dolls that kids play with. And then you put a name into it. You charge it. When you buy an object, like for example, this is a candle. When you buy a candle, an object, it is just an object. Now you are the one who has to charge it. Oh, somebody has sent me money. Thank you so much. 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 But anyway, you see, when you buy an object, it is empty. Now you're the one to charge it. You can even take this object and say now that this is Surinyarkano. But don't put me as a voodoo doll. If you know you can beat me, put me as a voodoo doll. Because now me I fight. Don't put people, you know, watakunyorosha kwa voodoo doll. Tafadhali. Unless unaniweka kwa voodoo doll kusema bariki Mungu bariki. And be positive with it. You can even be positive with it kusema Mungu bariki Mungu bariki, but mimi usiniweke kwa voodoo doll kama unanitendea mabaya. Nitakunyorosha in the spirit ama utaamini. Anyway, bye. I love you guys. Such a beautiful session.